the waste treatment plants or the recycling units of the cell, and they're called lysosomes. Now, these are special enzymes which break up components of the cell to form simpler products which are then digested. Now, lysosomes also help in defense. Let's see how. Let's take a lysosome over here. Let's see how. Assume that there are a bunch of viruses attacking a cell. The lysosome fuses with it and creates a phagosome, which is then dissolved. The lysosome also digests worn out cells with the enzymes it contains, and is often referred to as the suicide sac of the cell because of this. Now, around 300 million cells die in the human body every minute. So now we know that lysosomes are really, really hardworking, guys. And now, coming to the most exciting and interesting organelle of the cell, the power plants of the cell, the energy that drives the cell. You got that one? Yes, it's the mitochondria. Now, how do they look? They are smooth organelles, somewhat resembling a bacteria, and they are entrusted with the most important function, the function of cellular respiration. Now, this is where the energy is generated in the form of ATP, if you remember, adenosine triphosphate, which I told you was the energy currency of the cell, the currency that drives the cell. Now, it has a smooth outer membrane and an inner membrane that is folded on itself to give rise to something called cristae. Okay, so whenever you see foldings, remember that it is only done to increase surface area. So why do you want to increase the surface area? If you increase the surface area between the membranes, you can make maximum amount of ATP, and that is going to drive the cell. In fact, there are some cells like muscle cells and nerve cells that have a lot more mitochondria than other cells because they actually need to generate more energy. But do you know what's the coolest thing about mitochondria? Long ago, they existed on their own, and then one day a eukaryotic cell came along and tried to eat it, and then probably realized that this is, a great thing to have around, super useful, very smart. So it kept it, and the mitochondria to this day behaves like an independent cell, does its own thing, replicates on its own, and even has a small amount of genetic material, DNA. And I haven't reached the most amazing part yet. Mitochondria is present in the egg cell from the mother, and since it replicates on its own, it doesn't get mixed with the DNA of the father. You know where I'm getting to? If it's actually possible, we get our mitochondrial DNA from our mothers. So you and I have the same mitochondrial DNA that our mothers have, and because of this beautiful link, scientists have actually been able to trace our ancestral relationship